Now, today we're going to be talking about Peter Dutton. For those of my viewers who do not know or are part of my international contingent, Peter Dutton is the Immigration Minister of Australia, and he's currently a part of the Liberal coalition. Now, if anyone knew any information about him or what he's doing right here, you cannot deny that this is a shameful act in Australian history. Furthermore, if anyone actually understood the action of the Liberal coalition, you're a bigot. Now, I'll just say right here, you're a bigot, or you're very rich, which means that you have an excess of over $250,000 earned every year. But you're a bigot if you vote for these guys. Now, I'm not trying to be partisan. That's against the whole point of this show. But it's very tragic. Now, Peter Dutton has made several critical comments about the previous Liberal Prime Minister of Australia, and Malcolm Fraser. And Malcolm Fraser is one of the few prime ministers I've actually come to respect in Australia after Gulf Woodland, despite the fact that they both had an adversary relationship with each other. Now, Malcolm Fraser, for those that don't know as well, is the Prime Minister who brought the fleeing refugees of Vietnam and after the Vietnam War and helped them resettle in Australia. And I admire him for taking such a principled stand on it, especially when the Labour Party was making several moves against that, and even his own Liberal backbenchers and cabinet members, such as John Howard, the later Prime Minister, made brash comments about it. So, which is why I believe that we should know what's going on right now. Peter Dutton said, "The reality is Malcolm Fraser did make mistakes in bringing people in the 1970s, and we are seeing that today." Oh my God. Do you even understand what Vietnamese Australians have done so far? If you look through the statistics and go through the 2011 census, you'll realize that Vietnamese Australians are actually quite productive citizens, and they have a lower crime rate than other ethnic groups. They're actually climb the social ladder, and this is an anecdote, but they work so hard. I mean, it's impressive. Here it is. We need to be honest in having that discussion. There was a mistake made. Furthermore, in this Sydney Morning Herald article, you have Dr. Hewson, who was the Liberal Party co-member before the purging of the moderates. So he's actually a moderate, calling out Peter Dutton by saying, "I'm sure the successive government have made several mistakes, and probably so too with the present government will emerge in the future." So why make this point, Peter Dutton? Is it a cheap attempt to appeal to the anti-immigration, anti-refugee movement? Thank you, Dr. Hewson. Now, even in the Sydney Morning Herald article, they acknowledge, during the Fraser government, as many as 200,000 migrants arrived in Australia from Asia. As part of the policy's focus on multiculturalism and resettlement. Plans for Lebanese refugees to come to Australia in the Fraser years prompted warning from the immigration authorities about the risk of temporary change to eligibility standards. Cabinet members of the period released in 2007 show officials believe many lack of qualities considered important to integration in Australia, while some view as unskilled, illiterate, and of poor character. And before his death in 2015, Malcolm Fraser defended the policies and rejected links between refugee arrival and racial tension in contemporary Australia. And to know how far we've fallen, the left-wing party led by the opposition Bill Shorten, has said that he deplores the comment but supports the inquiry of a ban on refugees. Oh my god, yes. We've moved so far to the right that a former Prime Minister named Malcolm Fraser, who was against Gough Whitlam, and who actually toppled Gough Whitlam, his comments seem left-wing today. Now, I get it to my viewers, Malcolm Fraser has his own skeleton in the closet, but his policies of Keynesian economics, his relationship with labor practices, the working class, the poor, and his attempts to actually bridge the gaps and be a bipartisanship person or bipartisanship prime minister have was quite successful, and it's quite a tragedy how this is unfolding.